Today's tea selection is Tazo glazed lemon loaf with a dash of honey at the bottom. Nice and decaffeinated because I don't need caffeine at this hour. Hi, I'm Kelsey. I make comics and art. Today, we will be making art. This particular stream was supposed to happen on Saturday, but Saturday I kind of lost my voice and I was exhausted. So I just moved that stream to today, and that's what you're watching now. So apologies for the last minute changes, but I'm better rested now. Though this cat Bree is trying her darndest to get me to walk away because she keeps doing this thing with the water fountain where she just drags it across the floor if she wants to get my attention for some reason, even though she already has enough food and water. And I gave you cuddles. At least you're drinking your water. That's a good baby. Anyway, so making art and all that stuff. I'm going to try to keep it a little easy on my voice. So I may not be talking as much this stream. With all that, let's get into the pre-stream announcements. So first, the next couple of days are going to be the final days to pre-order your Dragon Baby pins and keychains. Pre-order links are going to be on the screen. The pins are available at tinyurl.com/d-baby-pin. Those are acrylic pins, not enamel, but they're acrylic pins of little dragon babies. They're about the size of a quarter, and they're delightful and really good for folks who are on a budget. There's also the Dragon Baby keychains. You can get those at tinyurl.com/d-baby-key. Those I've had before. I'm trying to restock those. The same goes with the pins. So these pre-orders are to get some stock back because I will be at Wrathacon April 9th, which is Saturday. Doors open at 10 a.m. I will be there showcasing my comics and prints and stickers and hopefully keychains and pins. In other kind of merch-related news, I also have a Patreon page. That said, it's been functioning as a sticker of the month club for a little while now, but I would like to know, what would you like to see me offer on Patreon? I'm running a poll now, and March 31st, that's 2 days from now, is a final day for you to vote. So just go to tinyurl.com/Patreon-survey to go there and cast your vote. The vote is public. Comments should be public as well, but you can vote. Let me know what you would like to see me offer on Patreon. I could keep doing sticker club. I could make it an art club. I could do tutorials. I could do a whole bunch of other things. There's a bunch of options. Pick one. Let me know what you think. And the pin and keychain links that I had shared just a second ago are linked to my online store on Ko-fi. And you can check that out at ko-fi.com/Kelsey D. Crawford. There you can opt to become a monthly member. You can buy something from my store. You can get a commission from me. You can do all kinds of stuff. And I see some comments already. Hi, Callie. Lurking while I grade people's exams today. Woo, good luck. Know how that goes. Hello, Carlos. Good to see you. How was the spring cleaning market? I saw you post pictures of it up on Instagram. The DC area had a spring cleaning market for artists who are local to that area. It looked pretty neat. Realistically, I should do something very similar to that. Just have like a spring cleaning studio day. How was it? It was windy. Oh, that stinks, but hopefully you were warm and had something hot to drink. If you were not here at the top of the episode, today's tea selection is Tazo glazed lemon loaf with a dash of honey at the bottom. It's a decaf option for folks who, like me, have a lot of anxiety, and the anxiety can spike if you have too much caffeine in your system. Okay. With that, I forgot to do the screen share thing, so I'm going to take a second to get that set up. There we go. All right. Hopefully we got that working. Yes, we got that working. Marvelous. But hey, it looks like going back to the spring cleaning sale that I talked about just a second ago, looks like some folks had made some sales, so that's good for them. That's awesome. All right, I'm going to do this. Possibly. I'm starting to wonder if maybe I should get my little camera self off the screen so that you can see like what colors I'm working with. Though I'm inking at this point, so I'm not really working with color. So yeah, I'll just leave my face there. Why not? Let's change up the banners though, just to get that situated. I don't know what my computer was doing there for a second. My computer was doing something wacky. Okay. Let's highlight the Dragon Baby pins and the keychains for a little bit. So let's start with the pins. We'll leave that link up on the screen for a little while and get to inking in this piece for Kitties by Kelci. This is The Witch's Study. This is a piece that I've been working on for several live streams now. I don't know if I'll get the inks done in this stream, but we'll see how far we can get. We're going to up the brush size to 50 here because this is working at 1200 dots per inch. So 20 is going to look minuscule. 50 will get me the brush look that I want. I bet. Yes. Yes, it will. Good. For folks who may have missed the announcement at the top of the episode, I ended up having to move Saturday's live stream to today because on Saturday I lost my voice and I was just generally exhausted. So that's why. I'm feeling much better now. That's nice, which is nice. It's very nice. I cannot get a straight line figured out for the life of me. I'm so queer, I can't even draw straight. Okay, there we go. I think I got it. Oh, I'll go ahead and let y'all know this now. This is the last stream that I'll be doing for a little while. The last live stream. Because Camp NaNoWriMo is next month. For folks who do not know, Camp NaNoWriMo is a writing challenge hosted by the same folks who do NaNoWriMo, or National Novel Writing Month. Twice a year, they'll run something called Camp NaNoWriMo, which is like National Novel Writing Month light. The camps are for folks who want to work on writing projects that don't really satisfy the requirements for a traditional NaNoWriMo. So if you want to work on, say, comic scripts, Camp NaNoWriMos are a great time to do that. And that's what I will be doing. I will be working on a comic script that I had finished, as it turns out, back in 2015. According to the save files, the save files were like last opened to 2015. And I'm like, it's been that long? Apparently it has. But I'll be working on a manuscript that I had drafted way back then called The Others. And that's The Others spelled UTHERS, which is a post-apocalyptic alien story. But I want to revisit it. For a number of reasons. That said, since I'm not really doing live streams for the month of April, I'm going to do something different for the month of April. Because I do still want to keep y'all posted on how things are going. So in lieu of live streams, I'll be doing little short form podcast episodes and posting those online. Some details are still getting figured out, but the first episode should drop this Saturday. If I can manage it at about 2 p.m. So like the same kind of time frame as if it were a live stream, just not actually live. Also short. Because these live streams tend to go for 2 hours. Catching up on comments. Well, good. Thank you for joining us, Madam Weird. I will be here, but lurking as I am repainting my bathroom. Good luck with that. Don't paint yourself into a corner. I mean, I have not done that, but I've known people who have, and it's awkward. Oh, did I lose my... I lost my pressure sensitivity. Hold on. This happens every once in a while, so I'm going to have to close out the window and then boot it back up. Hold on. Yeah, I lost my pressure sensitivity, so we're just going to X. Do not save. Because I already saved my progress. And we're going to bring this back up again. Okay. Un momento. Share that window. And okay. Good. We got that situated. This happens every once in a while, particularly for pieces that have like a really high dots per inch level, like this one does. So just gonna watch out for that. The reason I'm working so high of a dots per inch for this piece, though, is because I will be posting this on Redbubble, and Redbubble really likes the high dots per inches so that they can post the art on as many things as they can get away with. That said, there are going to be some designs that I had posted up on Redbubble for Kitties by Kelci that I'm going to see about moving over to my Ko-fi shop or making some Kitties by Kelci designs that are Ko-fi exclusive. Still figuring out some ideas for that and how I'm going to do that. Just rotate the canvas, because rotating the canvas oddly makes drawing straight lines a little easier. I think it's just how I naturally move my elbows. When drawing straight lines, draw from the elbows. By that, I mean move with the elbow rather than with the wrist. Ooh, I heard that pop. I don't know if the microphone picked that up, but ooh, that was oddly satisfying. Okay, I'm going to ink this, but I'm going to be moving this here shortly. It's because of how the pencils are. Okay. So who all had heard of Camp NaNoWriMo before I talked about it earlier today? Like, shout out in the comments who all had ever heard of the challenge. Carlos, I would be surprised if you had not heard of it. Just going to have the hat off for a little bit. I know it'll be a little sad to not be doing live streams in April. At the same time, I do feel like I need a little bit of a break from it. So I think having the month of April off from doing live streams will help. But I do also want to try posting little podcast episodes. And they're going to be little micro podcasts. They're not like an hour long. They're going to be maybe 15 minutes. I am of the opinion there should be more micro podcasts. Catching up on comments from the early days of Zanga? I feel like I should know what that is because I've heard Zanga before, but I do not recall what it is. Hold on, I'm going to Google it. A website that hosted weblogs. Oh man, I had not heard that called weblogs for a while. Photo blogs and social networking profiles. It was operated by Zanga.com and based in New York City. Something tells me it does not exist. But oh boy, that's why. Okay. It was past LiveJournal. Wow. And LiveJournal's already old. Oh my geez. I don't know how to feel about that. Ooh. Oh, I had the thought of maybe doing a copy paste, but I'm not sure that I'm going to do that. You know, funnily enough, never had a Zanga, but I was also one of those weird teenagers that learned HTML and built my own GeoCities fan site. I will give you 3 guesses as to what I made a fan site of. Anybody who knows me really well should know the answer to this. In case anybody noticed, yes, this is a slightly different camera angle. I have my standing desk set to the standing position. I've been sitting down all day and I needed a little change. So standing desk it is. I briefly considered getting a like a bicycle desk because I saw YouTuber Kate Kavanaugh had one of those. It's basically a stationary bicycle that has a little lip on the top for your laptop so that you can poke around on your laptop while you let your legs do some bicycling. I briefly considered getting one of those, and then I was like, I don't have room in my apartment for one of those, so no, that's going to have to wait. Besides, the standing desk works just fine for my purposes. I briefly considered going to the gym earlier today, but I decided not to. Okay, so we got that shelf situated. I think for this one, I'm going to work with the straight line tool rather than the brush. But that makes it look a little too stiff. I want it to look somewhat organic. And this straight line tool would have made it a little too mechanical. For folks who maybe saw a past live stream, you might be thinking, hey, Kelci, there's a special brush tool that you have that just paints books. Why don't you just use that again? And to that I say, nah. I mean, I could, but I'm not gonna. Not for this. I already used that brush for the pencil layer. I'm not going to use it for the inks. Speaking of the pencil layer, though, I am going to go into the layer that has the books because I'm going to manipulate these. They need a little tweaking. They don't quite line up with the bottom line there. And they kind of need to. Free transform. It's a bit better. Mm. There's a little part of me that wants to go to more conventions this year. And then there's another part of me that's like, well, considering how the last couple of years have gone, whenever people are like, oh, things are over, things are done, we can go back to normal, that's when another variant strikes. So I don't think I'm going to hold my breath. Regardless, play it safe, no matter what you do. Save progress so far. Get a sip of tea. I'm going to give it a second before I poke away. Okay. Oh, for sure. Smaller events have been fun and neat. I think it was last year. I want to say it was last year. Genghis Khan yes, that's the name of the event, did a series of small pop-up events in Cleveland spread out through the rest of the year. That way they didn't have like 100+ vendors under one roof at once. They just had like a handful of vendors under one roof at one place, which I really liked those events. I thought those were fun and also somewhat intimate. You could really get to chill with some folks. Yeah, I feel that Madam Weird. Yeah, same. I pushed my passes back another year on the one I'd booked. Yeah, and thankfully, there were some shows that I had already booked a table at that were like, hey, we're going to delay another year just to be on the safe side. And I'm like, good. I'm glad you did that. Wrathacon was one of those shows. And yes, this is going to be another plug saying that on April 9th, I will be at Wrathacon. So if you're in the Athens, Ohio area, check that out. Doors open at 10. Yes, absolutely. An artist farmers market, if you will, which there should be more of those. There should be more artist farmers markets, like maybe not once a week, but maybe like once a month. That'd be nice. I know for a little while the Toledo area, which is just what I'm outside of, the Toledo area had art walks once a month. I don't know if they're still doing that, though. I'd have to reach out to some folks and see. But I'd be totally down for another art walk if that's the case. Not gonna lie, COVID hit harder than I expected with the cancellation of all of the conventions and stuff. I thought that I would do just fine because I had been hired to be an in-house artist at Never Ending. And then I left Never Ending last year and realized that, oh, maybe I wasn't doing as hot as I thought I was. It's still a struggle. And I already had a vent about that on Instagram yesterday, which, you know, y'all, thank you for being so patient with me in that regard. I try to keep things positive, but yesterday it was really hard to do that. But, you know, it does help to be honest. Weirdly, I did get a bunch more support after that. So shout out to all peeps who signed up for my Patreon and pledged on Ko-fi after that. Hugely appreciated. I don't want to make it so that other successful ventures require cynicism to do it. But still, I really appreciate your support. It helps. It's going to get better. I know that it will. It's just, I always feel it at the end of the month. I feel that pinch. And it's not until the first week of the following month wraps up that I'm like, okay, I can breathe again. It's been a thing. Still, I would rather have this than doing DoorDash and Instacart full time ever again. All that ever got me was a more worn out car and a warped sense of time. Not gonna lie. There are some other projects that I do want to do for the month of April, but I will not be live streaming on YouTube or Twitch for those. I talk every once in a while about doing live streams on like Instagram or TikTok. I did an Instagram live stream, I think early last month, I want to say. I did it at some point. I enjoyed it. It did not get as much traction as like being on YouTube or Twitch, though. But maybe it was just the hour that I was streaming at. Who knows? Maybe now that Instagram has changed its algorithm again, maybe I can give it another shot and see what changes. Okay. I wanted to make sure that that was like the right line for perspective purposes, and it works. It works. Okay. I'm going to go back into the pencil layer here and move these books up, though, because they're not supposed to sit that low. There. Fixed it. Save progress as often as you can, kids. Okay, it's been a half an hour. I need to sit down. All right. Now comes the fun part where you hear something whirring in the background and you have no idea what it is. It's the desk. There we go. Let's change up the banner. Change it to the keychain this time. Okay. You know, Clip Studio used to have like a scaling bar over here for rotating the canvas. I don't know why they got rid of that. I would rather have that than whatever it is that they've got going on. There's too many button clicks. Vary this up a little bit. Nope. There. That's good enough. That is not. Okay. Forgot to add a little lineage just to show some shadows, or at least some depth. Okay. Little spine, another little spine, another little spine. My upstairs neighbors have been very noisy today. I would like to know what it is that they are doing up there, if they're moving furniture around or if they're building something, or what it is that they're doing. Because there's an awful lot of kathunking. I talked a little bit a minute ago about changing up the streaming schedule. So that does mean no live stream this upcoming Saturday. I mean, clearly for the rest of April, no live streams because I already talked about that. But this upcoming Saturday, no live streams. The first episode of the podcast that I mentioned will drop, though. I don't have a name yet for such a podcast. The podcast being where I just give you little updates on how Camp NaNoWriMo is going. So if you got recommendations for names for this here short form podcast, feel free to blast that out. I might put it into consideration. Flip and rotate again. 60 degrees seems to be like the best degree to draw these lines out for me. Ooh, I'm going to improvise a little book in this here corner. In this corner, improvised by the artist, is another spine. I don't know why I'm talking in this voice. There we go. Another spine has found itself into the field. And that's another bookshelf already done. Who could have known? Who could have guessed? Oh, geez, what's the perspective on these shelves? On the inside, on the depth. Oh, geez, I'm going to need to fix some of these. Oh, geez. Oh, boy. Okay. Blue? Thought the blue lines would help. I'm not sure if they do. In some regard, yes. In other regards, no. Me? Good God, why is everyone trying to call me today? It's not even numbers I know. I already had one person call me that was like, I'm sorry, I got the wrong number. And it's like, it's okay. But like, why is everyone trying to call me? I don't get it. Uh-oh, did I do something that would make it lose its pressure sensitivity? I feel like I just did. No, good. It still has its pressure sensitivity. Huzzah. Good. I was nervous for a minute. Okay. Okay. Looks like I got stuff lined up right that time. That's good. Save progress so far and not clicking away. Because clicking away does things. Whew. Ooh. Okay. We're going to use the rectangle tool and we're going to... Oh, well, we're going to undo that and we're going to increase the brush size from 7 to 20. That should make a difference. About there-ish, I think. Use the rectangle tool, select that rectangle that we just drew, and we are going to free transform this sucker. Because doing that is easier than trying to draw parallel lines in this instance. Oh my gosh. I've been up since like 5:30 this morning. I mean, granted, I'm not working at the craft store until like Thursday, but I want to stay in the habit of getting up early. We got that situated. Erase this line over here because woof. All right. And we're gonna... Oh, excuse me. Go back to the straight line tool and put this here, maybe? That might be a little to the right too much. Yeah, it was a little to the right too much. So let's do that again. And from this end to this one. Turn off the pencil layer, make sure everything's evensies. Yeah, things are evensies. As evensies as they're going to get. Okay, and I'm not going to worry about correcting this corner because that corner is going to be hidden under this dinosaur-shaped planter, so it'll be fine. I'm going to put the shelves on a lower layer. There we go. This is based on a real dinosaur planter that I have sitting on the windowsill currently. I am so proud of that succulent that is growing in this planter. Like the real version. I mean, I'm pleased with the drawing of it, but the real succulent that this drawing is based off of, I am so pleased with how that succulent is growing because it is now on its 4th row of leaves ish, because it's already grown like 3 rows of leaves and now it's working on its 4th, and the little center bud is still growing, and I'm like, oh, little buddy, you're getting so big, because I remember when I got you, you did not have this many leaves. I may have to transplant him, I do not know. For people who are like, oh my gosh, I'm so envious, I kill succulents, I'm just like, how? They're a desert plant. The whole purpose of them is to forget to water them. How do you kill a succulent? I really want to know. I mean, another way I can see people killing succulents, even accidentally, is planting them in the wrong kind of dirt, because succulents do require a particular kind of dirt, which is part dirt, part sand, because they're a desert plant. Speaking of plants, sometime either today or tomorrow, but hopefully today, I'm going to start my seeds. I have seeds from last year that are still good that I would like to plant for this year's garden. Let's move this dinosaur up. You're sitting kind of precariously on the edge currently. Boop. Oh, wait. Yeah. I needed to undo erasing the background lines. That way I can move this up and over, have it look like it's sitting pretty confidently on the shelf, and then I can erase the background lines. That's better. Okay, we got the dinosaur planter all figured out. And it's so cute. Look at that. Okay, the curtain I think I'll draw next because I need to fix that bottom end. Because of reasons. Oop. I'm just going to make a new layer. Curtain. And put that ink layer at 44%. Okay. Make the little folds. Can I geek out a little bit about Oddworld for a second? Oddworld is a franchise of video games. If you've never heard of them, they're basically cult classics, so I'm not too surprised that if you have not heard of them. I only found out about them like a few years ago, but they've had PlayStation games out since like the late 90s, early 2000s. They've been around for a while. They first came onto the scene with their game Oddworld Abe's Odyssey, which is charming, but also very dark. You basically play Abe, a little guy from a very alien planet, but not that super alien. The thing about the first two original games, Oddworld Abe's Odyssey and Abe's Exodus, is that they're both commentaries about capitalism, which really should resonate in today's culture. But you play a Madokan, which is like a little bird-like humanoid named Abe. You are a slave in a factory, and you discover that the heads of the factory are like, oh no, profits are going down. How are we going to get our money back? Let's chop up the slaves and make them into popsicles. That's the premise. And your objective as Abe is to rescue as many of your people as possible and bust out of the factory. And the same kind of holds true for Abe's Exodus, the original sequel. Now, from what I understand, thanks to the charisma and investigative prowess of Cat Icarus, because Cat Icarus is like obsessed with these games, and he managed to actually talk with one of the lead developers, the legendary, limitless, luscious Lorne Lanning, who played the original voice of Abe in the first two games. And I think he also played Abe's voice in Oddworld New and Tasty. Oddworld New and Tasty was a remake of the first Abe game. The first Oddworld game. And Oddworld New and Tasty came out for a number of different platforms, notably the PS4 and I think also the PSP at some point. I don't remember. But that's neither here or there. But Cat Icarus sat down with an interview with Lorne Lanning, which is already stellar. But Lorne Lanning had admitted that the original Abe's Exodus was not the sequel that it was intended to be, because the higher-ups did not expect Oddworld Abe's Odyssey to be the sleeper hit that it was. So they pushed really hard for a sequel. Now, Abe's Odyssey took 3 years of development to get it to where it was. The executives who wanted a sequel pushed for the sequel to be made in 9 months, which is ridiculous. But somehow they made it work. But because of that, Lorne Lanning and a few of the other folks at Oddworld had always wanted to revisit Oddworld Abe's Exodus and remake it from the ground up to be the sequel that they had intended in the first place. And that is now Oddworld Soulstorm. And that came out for the PS5 apparently fairly recently, because one of the things that popped up on my recommended feed on YouTube today was a full freaking playthrough of Oddworld Soulstorm. And I'm like, I thought that shit was still in development. I'm really glad that it's finally out. And for one thing, it's freaking pretty. For another thing, it makes me actually want to play the Oddworld games instead of just sitting there and watching Let's Plays or walkthroughs of it, which is saying something, because the Oddworld games are notoriously difficult. Mostly because of the controls. Because it was in a genre of video games in the 90s that were supposed to be realistic with like delayed controls and things like that. So that added to the difficulty a little bit. Oh, catching up on comments here. Oh, talking about the succulents, it took me a second, but yeah, when I was talking about succulents and how folks, for some reason, are like, oh my gosh, I would kill a succulent. Carlos, they thought it was a dessert plant, LOL. I mean, probably, but yeah, anyway, back to Abe's Odyssey and things. So I actually started watching the walkthrough of Oddworld Soulstorm, and it made me want to play it, which is highly unusual. I'm just going to edit these lines here because it seems too bulky to me with the original lines that I drew. I'm going to fix it. But I had been actually keeping an eye on how Soulstorm was developing passively, but still trying to keep an eye on it because there is something compelling about the Oddworld games. And not just because Abe is cute in his own way. I mean, his mouth is sewn shut, so there's only so much cuteness that's there. But he's got big eyes. He's innocent. He's hapless. He's well intentioned, and it's like, okay. Before I merge layers, let me just make sure everything's all hunky dory. Okay, I'm gonna merge this layer. And there we go. Added some shadows to imply a little bit more depth. Turn off the pencil layer. There. Safe progress so far. While it's doing that, I got my little bullet journal over here. I'm going to mark some things off. Oh my gosh. I don't think the microphone picked up those pops, but those pops were oddly satisfying. I briefly contemplated getting the symmetry tool to make drawing some of these candles a little easier, but I don't think I'm going to do that. Though maybe I should. New layer. And we're going to put the layer effect edge color on it. Get the white paintbrush and merge it down. Easy wicks. Oh, I just thought of this. I have a comics buddy of mine who's looking to move, and he was looking for other places to move. Not Portland, because he's already in Portland area and he wants to get out. I had originally made the suggestion of Pittsburgh, but I totally forgot to mention to him that DC was an option. Because he's looking for places that have like a good comic scene going. And DC does have that. I don't know if he is also into pro wrestling, but if he is, then it's the best of both worlds for him. Yeah, I'd originally made the recommendation of Pittsburgh because I had worked in Pittsburgh a couple of times, and the comic scene there it's there. Yeah. I do think that Washington, D.C. and the D.C. area have better public transportation than Pittsburgh does, though. Pittsburgh is very car dependent. Like, yeah, they have a light rail and they have buses, but like public transportation is still going to be better in DC. And even Philadelphia has better public transit, I think. If there's any one city that I miss visiting, oddly enough, it's Philly. Like, yeah, I miss the West, but Philadelphia was a lot of fun. I went there for my 30th birthday a few years ago, which is wild to think about. But yeah, it's a thing that my mom does where on our 30th birthday, she takes us where we want to go. And I wanted to go to Philadelphia because I had never been, but I wanted to go someplace that had a history to it that also had a lot of arts to it. And I didn't want to go to DC because this was, oh gosh. Hold on, I got to count back. 2019. Yeah. So, and I really did not want to be in DC at that point. Not to mention that the last time that we were in DC, which was in the way before times, it was with somebody that I really did not want to think about ever again. So I didn't want to have those memories surfacing on my birthday of all times. So I was like, let's just go someplace new. Let's go to Philly. And so we went to Philly. That was an excursion. The Airbnb that we rented, the pilot light went out. So whatever food that we had in the fridge went bad on the second day that we were there. And we had no hot water for the showers. So that was interesting. And it just occurred to me that I popped away and I thought so. I was like, I think I just lost all of my pressure sensitivity, and I did. So we're going to close this and bring it back up again because I was talking and not paying attention. And I hopped away for a second, and I should not have done that. All right. Give me a sec. It's because I'm working at such high DPIs. Clip Studio Paint does not know what to do with itself half the time. So we're going to stop that, and we're going to share screen again. Clip Studio, allow, boom, and done. Okay. DP high. Yes, absolutes. Oh, let's change up the link. Being shown on the screen. There we go. Okay. Back at it. I was thinking candles. That's where I was. While in Philly, I did not get to see the Liberty Bell directly, but I did get to see it through a window, so that was something. Part of the reason we did not see the Liberty Bell in person was because the line for it was so freaking long. Oh my God. But we did pass by Ben Franklin's original apartment, and we heard the story of, and I don't know how true this is, but I like to think that it's true. We heard the story that Ben Franklin liked to do a practice called air bathing, which is where one just stands outside in the buck. And supposedly Ben Franklin would just stand on the balcony and do that in a downtown metro area in the 1700s. Just stand on the balcony completely naked. And the tour guide who told us this was like, and now you have a mental image of Ben Franklin standing naked on a balcony. You're welcome. And just went right back to the tour. She was great. Honestly, I had a great time in Philly. Like, there was that tour, there was the buses, there was the Museum of Art, which was a lot of fun. We got to see these massive freaking tapestries. That was really, really cool. Oh gosh. Trying to remember what all we did, because it's kind of a blur. We did see a improvised musical because there was an improv comedy troupe that specialized in musicals, which it was wild. It was buck wild. But it was funny. I enjoyed it. I don't think Mom was necessarily a big fan of it, but you know, it was my birthday. And we got to support local theater, and that's the important thing. Oh, we did get to see the Reading Terminal Market, which is marvelous. If any of you have ever seen National Treasure, the Nicolas Cage movie, part of the movie did happen there. It was a chase scene. And now that I've been to Reading Terminal Market in person, I can tell you right now that the scene in National Treasure, I saw that scene after having been in Reading Terminal Market. I saw that scene in the movie and I went, that's not crowded enough. Because Reading Terminal Market, you are like bumping elbows with people. At least you were. I don't know if it's still the case, considering everything going on in this global panini. But back then, you were definitely rubbing elbows with people, especially on the weekends. I loved that market, though. I still have the coin purse that I got while I was there. There was a hold on, let me save progress and not hop away for a second. Okay, we got that. I'm gonna actually shrink this for a second so I can show you this. So this piece of leather I got from one of the merchants at Reading Terminal Market, and I love this. Watch. Okay, grab the ends, and it opens like this, and it turns into a little rectangle, and it's a coin. I've been using it as a coin purse, but you can use it for whatever you want to. But when you're done with it, you can just fold it back down, and it collapses really nicely, and I love it. And it's actual leather. Sorry, vegans, but it's leather, and I love it. I got this and some African-inspired. I don't know if they were 100% African, but like African-inspired bracelets, because I love African art. Let's change up the banner. There we go. But I wanted to show off that leather pouch because I just thought it was neat. I had mentioned earlier that there were still some other art projects that I wanted to work on for the month of April. One of them is the Major Arcana tarot card art. I made card number 0, which is a thing. I made card number 0's art a few months ago, but I haven't revisited the series since then. So at some point, I do want to sketch up the next card, and I'm going to try to work on this tarot card series in sequence because I want it to be told like a story where you lay down the cards one at a time in numerical sequence and it tells a story in a way. Because realistically, this is what they do. It's told in an abstract and symbolic way, but it tells a story. And I wanted that to be evident in the art for the series. Because of that, it needs a little planning. Planning and forethought. But if I can get to a point where I can get the setup going again and stream doing traditional stuff, the traditional art streams will likely be on Instagram and TikTok. Because I have a camera mount on the side here that is perfect for like streaming on Instagram and TikTok. In that way. Let's fix that bottom. I think that did it. Yeah, we're going to free transform that. Free transform. Squish, squish, squish. Squish some more. Better. If not the tarot art, possibly PuzzleSpell. Because PuzzleSpell is just about done. I'm in the final pages for it. I've not been posting pages of it on the email newsletter because I wanted the space and time to make the ending that it deserved. And I didn't want to rush it. And also, to be perfectly honest, I have been working without a buffer when posting PuzzleSpell online. And I'm like, oh, this is going to turn out bad, and I don't want to rush the ending, so we're just going to not post it on the email newsletter for a little while so that I can get the pages done. Oof. Itchy hip. Okay. That jar back there is actually rectangular, but with a circular lid. Modeled it after not a Yankee candle, but another candle that I had seen elsewhere, because it came in a square jar, not square jaw, square jar, but it had a round lid. And I was like, that's kooky. Oh, I actually have one on the shelf over there. A square jar with a round lid. It's unusual. And I was like, I have to draw that. So I drew it. And now I'm inking it in. Like a lantern. Only a candle. Gosh dang it, draw a freaking straight line. This is another candle design that I got from a candle that's sitting on the shelf. This one has a kind of a dome lid. Or like a little mushroom lid. Which I found unusual, but also kind of creative. Change it up from the usual mason jar look, that's for sure. Ah, and the tapered candle right next to it. That one I pulled from what memory I had of the similar candles that are at the craft store that I work at part-time. Because there's an entire section just for candles. It's not very big, but it's there. Our selection of candle making things is larger than the actual candles. Though we do get the seasonal picks, so we have spring candles right now. Moving that unit across the floor was an adventure. Donnerino. And we're going to go to the shelves layer to draw some shelves, possibly. Or, oh, no, actually, I'm going to draw the like depth of the shelves after drawing the details of the shelves. That way it's consistent, methinks. Yeah. Save progress so far. Not going to touch anything. Not going to hop away. Okay. And now for this. A handmade journal. Actually based this on a journal that I have. I was into making handmade books there for a little while. It is a time-intensive hobby, though, so I did not keep that up. But I know some basics. For a little while, that was how I kept up making sketchbooks for my own personal use, was I just made them. I have since kind of regressed a little bit and just switched back to getting them at the store. Because I don't really have the time to make handmade journals anymore, not unless somebody's paying me to do it. Even then, that might be debatable. Like, sorry, I was just thinking about how my buddy Chloe saw this sweater that I'm wearing right now, which is a sweater that I knit. And she was like, I might have to commission you to knit me a sweater. And I'm like, oh, please, maybe not. Because, like, I am totally fine with knitting just for me. Not sure if I'd want to do it on commission. Especially knitting a sweater, because sweaters are not fast. Oh, heading out for some errands. Alrighty, see you later, Carlos. Be safe. I'm actually probably going to hop off here in a bit. It's been a long enough workday for me. I think I'm just going to wrap it up early. And then I hopped away and I think I lost my pressure sensitivity again because I lost track. All right, well, X out of that and remove. I'm going to boot this up again, and I'm going to try to finish that shelf before calling it a day. Okay. All right, we got that situated. Good. Let's go back to that shelf. Finish up the display items. This is the display shelf. Flip the canvas and rotate slightly. Not a full 60 degrees, but just enough to get the angle that I want. Oop, extended too far. Flip back. Okay. Okay, so that is situated. Ooh. Gonna go in the layer under inks, make a new one, and we're gonna put this opacity at 75. So I'm gonna make one leg. And then I'm just gonna copy and paste it. Copy, paste, and move to about there. Yes. Erase some lines, obviously. But there we go. That just saved me from having to draw that. Going to put them both at 100% opacity and then merge the two together. Because when you copy paste, it makes another layer. Strangely enough. Ooh. Just going to lasso the area that we need and delete that. And put this layer above inks, merge it down. Go into the shelves layer for this. Oop. Good. And ooh. Yes. Lasso that area that we just drew, cut, paste. Move this to the layer above inks. 100% opacity, merge down. Boop. Ah. So nice. I'll flip the canvas, rotate slightly. Flip back. Oh, back to here. Not round enough. Nope, still not round enough. Let's use the ellipses tool. Size it at 25. Make a new layer. And there. Okay. When using the ellipses tool in Clip Studio, you have to click it twice because the first click holds one element of it in place, but you can still kind of adjust it so that it can be more of an oval or more of a circle. And once you get this shape to where you want it to be, you click it a second time and it sets it. It's unusual, and it took me a hot minute to get used to it, but every once in a while I still get it mixed up though. So I'm just letting you know now that the ellipses tool does that. Neat. Merge that layer down. Back to the pen tool. Ba-da-ba-da-da-da-da. And that's done. We're going to put the highlight there. A little shadow marks here. Some shadow marks here. And that shelf is done. Tremendous. Okay. Save. Let me see if I can get that next shelf down done before calling it a day. I just want to see how much progress I can get done. Like one shelf at a time, man. It's the best way to do anything is just one chunk at a time. Just gonna catch up on comments for a second. Okay. Let's change up the banner. Boop. Ooh, okay. I am going to cheat a little bit with these books down here because they're all rectangular. They're not sitting at odd angles. So we're going to use the rectangle tool. And we're going to have to transform that though. So we're going to use the rectangle marquee, do that, and hit free transform. Up a little more. Squish it down. Boop. Okay. Maybe. Yeah. Better. Okay. We still got the marquee selected around it, so we're going to copy, paste. You hit the letter K because that moves the layer, and we're going to move that down. Done. Merge. Paste. Moving that again. And merge the layers. Paste again. So we're going to put that there. Paste again. And I'm just going to do that for all of the books that are roughly the same size. Because that's just so much easier to do. Okay, done. And now we're going to paste and we're going to move this to a different sized spine. Use the marquee tool, select it, and we are going to free transform again. Actually, this one, let's scale. Okay, scale got us that. Now free transform will enable us to squish it, which is what we need. Okay. Oh, wait. Leave the marquee tool surrounding it, and we are going to copy, paste, and move that down to this one. Okay, merge that, paste. There, merge that, paste. Move it to there. Merge that, paste. It sounds like I'm saying merge that, paste, but it's just merge that, paste. And done. Good. Okay. We got all those. Now we're going to, because that was all on a separate layer, we're going to merge that down to the inks. And we are going to make another layer because I'm going to make this kind of a squat wide one next. Squat and wide compared to the others anyway. Marquee to select what we need. Free transform. Up, up. Adjust the side here. And we're going to shrink that down. And that's done. Dude. And before we deselect it, we are going to copy paste and move it. Excellent. Merge, merge. Merging those layers. Okay. This one, I think I might do this one a little differently. So. Oh, that was still marquee tool. I need the rectangle. Done. Now we use the marquee tool to select it and free transform it. Done. Okay. And, oh, stay selected, copy paste. And move that copied one down to here. Merge, merge. New layer. And we're going to make this a larger rectangle. And then marquee. Boop. Free transform. Oh, hold on. There. Had to scroll that down to get to the bottom node over here. Up and okay. Okay, the transformation, copy paste, move this down here. Ish. We're going to need to transform that. So it's a little too wide for the spot that it needs to sit in, so we're just going to about there. Doot. And okay. Merge, merge. And we are going to get the tool thing back up and get the straight line. And do this. Oh, so easy. Excellent. And okay. I'm going to zoom in and add a little curve for the interior curve of the pages for these books. Okay, save progress so far. Not clicking away. Bad things happen when we click away. And the tea is finished. I am sad. Oop. I have a little pillow back here to help with my spine. Now, let's see. This grayish line is the shelf edge that cuts off at the top. These books do not need to be super duper deep. Oh, that's a little too thick. We're going to make it 15 width instead. Okay, that's a bit better. Now to just find the placement for these. Save progress. I'm not touching anything. Good. Oh, that's rough, buddy. Had someone with a 53 on the exam I just graded. Today's going great. The books are lovely. Well, thank you. It's not so lovely that you had to grade a 53. That's a yikes. You might want to have an intervention with that person, see what's going on there. But like, woof. But yeah, so far so good on the books. I'm just getting their general shape. I'll get the more curvy aspects later. Let's make this one longer. Ooh, she's thick. This one too. And also this one. All right. Save progress so far. Not touching anything. I'm going to get a glass of water here in a second, once this is done saving. Okay, it's done saving. I'm going to get a glass of water. I will be right back. Not necessarily fetching tea, but still, be right back. Should take that mug out of the way. I think Bravery's taking a nap in my room. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I see your comment, Callie. That's oof, good luck. That's all I got to say to that. Gonna get these tall and skinny books. Boop. Will likely not be streaming for too much longer, so letting y'all know. Especially since I'm nearing the end of this row. Only one book left to draw lines for. And that was easy. Sweet. Okay. I'm going to flip that canvas and I'm probably only going to do that for a couple of these, not all of them. Shrink that line width to 10. I could very easily get lost in details, which I got to be careful about with this piece because, for one thing, there's a lot of things that could get detailed. For another thing, this is already a pretty big piece. I'm going to curve that one. Oh! Dang it, mouse. Okay. Oh, and that little nubbin can go. We'll curve this end. Cool. Turn that pencil layer off. Let's see how it looks right now. There could be little labels and things included. So let's include those real quick. I don't know what my upstairs neighbors are doing, but it sounds really, really noisy. Okay, details added to the books on the bottom shelf. And that is pretty well set. Ooh, right, the shelves. I remember why they were left at 51%, because the shelves over here need a little TLC along their edges. So here's what I'm gonna do. Well, I need to get the polyline tool. That'd make this a lot easier. And I'm gonna adjust that. Nope. Wrong layer. Do not apply the transformation because that was on the wrong layer. Free transform. Okay. Oh. No, don't do that. I need you to move up. Now I'll have to dot that. But that shelf is fixed. And dot. Now to fix this one. Free transform. Up a little more. Up a little more. That end is good. We'll call it for that shelf. Check the pencil layer. Yeah, we'll call it there for that shelf. Go into this other layer and erase that line. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Okay, and for this, I'm just gonna select the bottommost line and just move it up. Haha. This line, that end is going to need to move. So we'll free transform it, and because it was just the one end that was askew, not the other. Let's go in here and erase a few things. Good. Let's get that to 100% opacity. Move that to the layer above inks and merge down. Tremendous. Save out progress. And there is where I think I'll wrap it up for this stream. So once it's done saving, I'll close out the window and go into the post-stream announcements. Okay. Still looking pretty cute, though, if I gotta say so myself. You move. Yeah, talking about the neighbors, they decided to take up clogging. Seriously, yeah, because I just heard them making even more noise. I hope the microphone didn't pick it up, but we'll see. Anyway, post-stream announcements. The Dragon Baby keychains and pins are available for pre-order for the next couple of days only. I'm accepting pre-orders until midnight, March 31st. AKA 11:59 p.m. March 31st. So To get your Dragon Baby keychains, go to tinyurl.com/d-baby-key. To get the pins, now keep in mind these pins are acrylic pins, not enamel, but they are pretty sturdy. To get the acrylic pins, go to tinyurl.com/d-baby-pin. Again, accepting pre-orders for those until March 31st, 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Orders will ship out after April 1st, before April 9th. Because the stock that does not sell is going to be taken to Wrathacon. Wrathacon is happening April 9th in Athens, Ohio area, at the Athens, Ohio Community Center. If you're in the area, I hope you can come. Doors open at 10 a.m. Wear masks if you can. Be vaccinated if you can. Just be safe. And for the month of April, there will not be any new live streams. So no streaming on Tuesdays and Saturdays. That said, I will be posting little mini podcasts on Saturdays in April to keep y'all in the know on Camp NaNoWriMo, because I'm participating in Camp NaNoWriMo this year to polish up a comic script that I worked on way back in 2015, apparently. The last I looked at the file, that was when it said I had last opened it, and I was like, it's older than I thought. So, working on that comic script, and I will be giving y'all updates on that by podcast. Keep an eye on my website, kelcidcrawford.com. If you're watching on YouTube, the link for that's going to be in the doobly-doo. I'll also be posting episodes on Ko-fi a few days early, and any other links will be at linktree/KelseyD. Links on the screen. If you're watching on YouTube, link will be in the doobly-doo. So, yes, no live streams for April, but there will be once weekly podcasts to clue you in on the progress on Camp NaNoWriMo. And I'll be talking about how I edit stuff, any updates on the stories, and that sort of thing. I think, another one. Tomorrow, another page drops for The Legend of Jamie Roberts. The Legend of Jamie Roberts is my webcomic about a genderqueer pirate who goes treasure hunting in a land full of dragons with their two best friends. To see that webcomic, go to thelegendofjamieroberts.com. New pages get updated every Wednesday. Unless you're one of my super fans on Ko-fi, because peeps who support me on Ko-fi get pages a day early. And that means if you support me on Ko-fi, you already know the page that will be going up because you just saw it today. If you want to see that, just go to ko-fi.com/KelseyDCrawford and become a monthly member, which means giving however much that you want or can, or both, each month. Even as little as $1 a month unlocks that particular perk for you. So there you go. Last announcement, I do have a Patreon page. I've been using it as a sticker of the month club. If you would like me to continue that, or if you would like to see something different, let me know in a poll. The link to the poll is going to be tinyurl.com/Patreon-survey. Let me know what you would like to see on my Patreon page. I am accepting votes until March 31st. So, altogether, that's pins are on pre-order. Keychains are on pre-order. Vote on Patreon. All three of those things. The deadline is March 31st, which is 2 days from now. Tomorrow is The Legend of Jamie Roberts new page. Unless, of course, you support me on Ko-fi, because Ko-fi peeps already have seen that. All the links that I have talked about have been shown on screen. There's going to be links in the YouTube doobly-doo. Check those out. If you're watching on Twitch, then all the links are on the screen. You can also go to linktree/KelseyD. All the links that I talked about will be there as well. No stream this Saturday. The first episode of the podcast that I talked about will drop on my website that day. So keep an eye out for that. And I hope to see you at Rathacon on April 9th. That's, I think, everything. So that's all for now. Thank you all so much for watching and for your continued support. You are awesome.